Hey guys, Frederick here from Turf, and today we will be talking rabbit cages. So one of the most important things when getting a rabbit is where it is that you're going to put them. Now, it is very important that the housing you select for a rabbit is based on the size of the rabbit, the type of rabbit, and the purpose for the rabbit. So if you're going to get a pet rabbit, then it's fine to pretty much get away with, just a small hutch using materials that you have available. Or most persons might do an inside cage, perfectly fine. However, if you're looking to go into an operation where you do production on a larger scale, then you would want to look into more commercially available cage types. With that being said, guys, you can create your cages from materials that are cost effective and durable. Now, there are many different type of cages, ranging from wooden hutches to all wire mesh cages, and it all based on where it is that you're starting with your financial part of the business. Most persons might not have a high financial start, so they might tend to go for cheaper material. But for me personally, when we just started, we had wood available and a few scrap lumbers, and we used it, as well as we had a few mesh that was lying around and we used them. However, it would have been better for us had we started with the proper caging system, and that is what we will be discussing today. So I'll show you what it is that I have and what I started with, and also to tell you the disadvantages of it, the advantages of it, and also I'll be sharing some of the things that I think I would have done differently if I had to start over, and also some of the things that this type of cage system that I started with hinders me from pretty much growing. Also stick around, because there will be a part 2 of this where I upgrade all these cages into a more commercial style setting. So that's really what we're trying to accomplish. Alright, so this is basically how the cages are constructed. We have chicken wire, as you can see, chicken wire, expanded metal on the flooring. We have zinc back and zinc roofing, and as you can see, it's constructed from wire and board. You can see right here, I actually have to put a cinder block and a tray to kind of separate the rabbits. what it is that we will be doing here at Turf is to replace them altogether. As you can see there as well, same thing, rabbits just bite it and go over. As you can see, we have 2 rabbits in 1 cage here. However, that's not supposed to be the case. So we just started, guys. Our first pair of rabbit was actually purchased for $3,500. So we started very, very small. We actually had mixed rabbits, and we just started. So at that point we were pretty much doing it as a hobby. So we built cages from board and mesh, as that is what we have. Went out and I purchased about 6 feet of the galvanized square wire, or square mesh rather, and constructed the cage. What it is that we did mostly was to build a 2 compartment cage, one for the male, one for the female, and that's where we pretty much started. As we grew and the rabbits had kids, we knew that we had to find somewhere to put those kids. So we had to build another cage, and again, because of limited finances, we had to use materials that we had available. Again, mesh and lumber. Now, coming into the whole understanding of the rabbit business and understanding how everything works, we then decided that we're going to take this up serious as a business and not just as a hobby, because it was costing us to feed the rabbits. And we started producing rabbits, and what are you going to do with these rabbits? We have to sell them. So hence we started a bit of business. As we grew, we pretty much expanded, and we kept building a few hutches. However, all these hutches were being built with the same material, which was wood and mesh. And I'm going to show you in a short, well, actually let me take you now with me, because you're currently seeing it. However, I want to show you where it is that we started. So I'm going to actually bring you to my first cage and show you the first cage that we made. And that first cage is still standing with us today. The first cage that we built here on Turf, as you can see, the galvanized square wire that I was mentioning about, and we have a few replacement doors here, 2 sisters. So as you can see, guys, from the cage, this was built about 2017, and the wire is still very, very rigid, very firm. You understand? And this cage has been in full use right throughout. As you can see, we still have animals in it, and you can see the lumber. Not sure how well you see in here, but if I can get the camera to focus, right, you can see right here in these corners there's a build-up of urine and grass and all of that, which is not necessarily the best thing, as it can breed bacteria and diseases. However, occasionally what we do is to use a hose and spray it down. So as you can see up in the corner there, it's very clean. They're not dirty, they're very clean, so. And this is the first cage that we built. As we started to expand, we started to just use materials we had lying around: lumber, chicken wire, and as you can see on the floor of that cage, diamond wire, or expanded sheet metal, as some of you might know. And not necessarily the best thing to use, however, that's what we started with, and it holds up a bit. Not sure how you can see in the corner over there, the wire starts to rot and break away, as you can see here, because of the urination and everything. The wire tend to start to degrade. However, this wire here been the longest cage. I mean, it still holds up pretty good. Never had an issue where it's torn or broken anywhere at all. And there are days when this one cage here is filled to capacity with animals. Hold up to 10 wieners, sometimes even 12, depending on the age. So one of the things that we decided that we're going to do is to pull down all these cages and do a 3-tier system. As you can see with the space, it is possible. We have only one row. The space is there, so I think it would be great for us. It would be a great initiative for the space that we have. The length is 16 feet, and we have room to play with the height. So it would be good for us to do that. And the cages that we will be bringing in, as I explained earlier, would be more commercial type cages. So these would be cages that are all wire cages. Now, it is important to get all wire cages. However, the type of wire that you use also can depend whether or not your rabbit operation is a success. And when I say this, what I'm referring to is the whole fact that you can use an all wire cage, but what type of wire are you using? I mean, we could use all chicken wire, we could use all expanded metal, but there are specific wire that is recommended to build rabbit cages, especially for commercial purposes, and that is the square galvanized afterweld wire that I showed you from my first cage. So what happened is that there are different gauges to these wires, and there are different dimensions to these wires. Now, it is recommended for the flooring you use a 1/2 spacing, and if it is possible, a 14 gauge galvanized after weld wire. They do sell the galvanized before weld, however, I find that it doesn't hold up as good as the galvanized after weld, as the weld joints over time they tend to break. So getting the wire that is galvanized after weld, to me, hold up much stronger. One of the things that we recommend also for the sides of the cage is to go the 1/1 wire. Now the reason behind that is you are able to increase airflow with the space, and also the cost is a bit cheaper than the 1/2. It's also small enough where rodents can't get in, to pretty much harm the rabbits, and it is big enough where as mentioned earlier, the airflow is good, because once it is that the rabbits shed and the fur build up on the cage walls, it can impede airflow. So a 1/1 is substantial for the top and the sides, while a 1/2 would be recommended for the flooring. For the flooring, it's recommended for the 14 gauge, and for the sides and the top, a 16 gauge should work just fine. As it pertains to connecting these cages, I would recommend you use either the stainless steel J-clips or the galvanized J-clips. Those tend to hold up a bit stronger as well. It is very, very important also that whenever you are buying your cages or building your cages, you build them to the specific animal needs. So if you're going to do a growth cage, you don't want it to be too small where it is very crowded. And if you're doing a production do or production buck cage, you don't want it to be too big where they have too much space. So there are certain things that you put into factor when you're building your cages. How many animals you plan to house in them, what type of animals you plan to house in them, and all of that. Because while it is recommended for a 2 feet by 2 feet cage for a production doe or a production buck, you necessarily need a bit more space, especially if those doors will be kindling, as you would need space to accommodate the kids. However, there are certain ways in which you can go around that by adding other aspects of caging as needed, and all of that will be explained in the next video once it is that we have remove these cages and put in some more commercial type cages. So again guys, and stay tuned and look out for that video. So yes guys, so that's basically it for today. But it is that our cages are currently like, and what it is that we plan to do in the future. Until then guys, see you and stay tuned. And also, if it is that you like this content, you can leave a thumbs up and share it to someone who you think the goats are getting crazy, and share to someone who you think might like this content. And also, if you haven't subscribed as yet, you can definitely do so, as we will be coming out more videos as we are back on track with everything. So thanks again guys for tuning in today, and we do appreciate it.